This channel made me do math today. Math. No, it's okay. So what I did today, and we've had the discussion about the loser point. I've gone on enough rants about the loser point. I thought, let's just take a look and see. Now, I was based on the action before today's games. If wins in regulation were 3 points, okay, wins in overtime or shootouts were 2 points, a loss in overtime or shootout was 1 point, and a loss in regulation was 0 points, how would the standings look different? So I went over it and over it and over it. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. While I'm at it, why don't I pull the loser point out and see how that changes everything? See how that changes the matchups. So doing a 3-2-1-0 or a 3-2-0. Such situation here. Whole scenario. And I know that would sound crazy to people, but remember, hockey is the only sport in North America that gives you points for not winning. You don't win, we're Canadians. Gosh darn it, you made it to 60 minutes and you weren't losing, so we're going to give you a point, eh? No. According to my system, no. Now, here's the funny thing. If we do the 3-2-1 system, okay, so 3 points for a regulation win, 2 points for an overtime shutout win, or shootout win, 1 point for an overtime shootout loss, and no points for regulation loss, here's what happens. The Washington Capitals are number 1 with 117 points. Number 2 is the New York Rangers with 109. Number 3 is the Pittsburgh Penguins with 108. Number 4 is the Columbus Blue Jackets with 106. Number 5 is the New York Islanders with 84. The Columbus Blue Jackets get the number 1 wildcard spot, and the New York Islanders right now would be the number 2 wildcard spot. Now, this is before today's game, so this is before the Toronto shutting out Columbus, or Carolina game. Jeez. That game, okay, for Toronto would actually leapfrog them into that last wildcard spot. So they would have 87 points to leapfrog the Islanders. The reason the Islanders with 84 points would nudge Toronto out is the Islanders have more regulation wins than Toronto. I said, all right, then that would be the tiebreaker, would be who has more regulation wins. Forget the overtime wins. The regulation wins are the tiebreaker. It leaves Florida with 81 points, Buffalo with 81 points, Tampa with 79. Remember now, 84 or after tonight, 87 would be that line. Philly with 77, New Jersey with 77, Carolina with 74, and Detroit with 69. And that's before their game today. So that gives more of a perspective. And what it does is it means the number 1 team is Washington with 117, and the last place team is Detroit with 69. It takes a relatively compact looking situation and just strings it out. Now, when that happens, that means that Columbus plays the Rangers in the first round, and the Rangers have home ice advantage. So, because the Rangers don't have loser points this year, under my system here, they'd be really well off. The Washington Capitals, as the number 1 seed, would play the Islanders in the first round. And then Montreal leads their division with 95 points under the system. Ottawa's second with 92. Boston's third with 88. Now, like I said, Toronto with their 87 would be fourth and would move into that wildcard spot. Florida and Buffalo would be tied with 81. Tampa's 79. Detroit 69. So in that division, your winners Montreal, they would play Columbus. Ottawa plays Boston. Ottawa has home ice advantage. You'll notice things don't really change. I'm actually kind of surprised. I had expected a big swing. There are changes, yes, for the Rangers fans. You guys move up to second place. You guys move way up. Here's the thing. Remove loser points. Here's what happens. The Washington Capitals are still number 1 with 110 points, and I'm doing the 3-2-0 now. With 3 points for regulation win and 2 points for an overtime and shootout win, the Rangers have 108. They're 2 points back of Washington. Columbus is next in third with 101, and Pittsburgh drops into that wild card spot with 100. Pittsburgh gets to play Montreal in the first round under that situation, and Columbus would be the ones playing the Rangers. Washington would then have the joy of playing the Islanders, who still get that last spot. See, Toronto winning tonight they would leapfrog the Islanders in this situation as well. But the Islanders are in a really good spot because they've got a lot of regulation wins, comparatively speaking, with the other teams. So it drops some teams down. The Islanders have 74 points. The Toronto Maple Leafs 73. They'd have 76 with a regulation win. Montreal has 87. Ottawa 86. Boston 82. Toronto would now have 76. Florida 71. Buffalo 71. Tampa 71. See what happened there? 3 teams now are tied with 71 points. And Detroit, 59 points. Detroit just dies. With each time I do this, Detroit's odds of making the playoffs get worse. And I think they're already at 0, according to the odds makers. So there's the East for you. Okay, you've still got Ottawa and Boston playing each other, and you've got Montreal now playing Columbus. So out West, Minnesota, 117 points under the 3-2-1 system. Chicago, 100 points. St. Louis with 91. Nashville makes the playoffs with 86 as the second wild card. The first wild card is Calgary with 83. Nashville has 86, so behind them is Winnipeg with 81. Then Dallas with 76. Colorado 44. So it gets Winnipeg into a situation where, in order to make the playoffs, they have to pass Calgary, and everybody else is behind them, including the Kings, the Canucks. They're behind them. They have no problems. The Pacific under the 3-2-1 system. San Jose is number 1 with 104 points. Second is Anaheim with 96, and then the Oilers with 95. Calgary has 83. LA 77, Vancouver 74, Arizona 58. Now, with the 3-2-0 system, San Jose drops to 98 points. Edmonton leapfrogs Anaheim. Edmonton has the 87 points, Anaheim has the 86. Calgary has 79. So under this situation, they're ahead of Nashville, who has 78. So with a 3-2-0 system, Calgary, as the number 1 wild card, would be playing San Jose, and Edmonton would have home ice against Anaheim. Nashville would then play Minnesota, and Chicago and St. Louis, nothing changes there because Chicago drops to 95 points, St. Louis drops to 86, and Minnesota still has 111 points. With a 3-2-0 system, Minnesota is now your President's Trophy winners. Yeah, swallow that one for a bit. And what this does too is it shows that, yes, in terms of the race for the bottom, for that number 1 draft pick, for the best chance at drafting first, Colorado's ahead, Arizona's second, Detroit's third, Vancouver's 4th, and Carolina's 5th. There you go. This is why when I have people who are fans of any, well, not Colorado. Colorado fans have already resigned themselves to their fate. But when an Arizona, Detroit, Vancouver, or Carolina fan asks me, well, hey, don't we still have a chance? Mathematically, sure. Realistically, probably not. Probably not. Because I can't think of the last time that I watched a team that's in the top 5 chance for drafting first overall make the playoffs in the last 20 games. I can't think of a time it's happened. There's too many teams ahead of them that are going to play each other and get those 3-point games. But what surprised me about doing this, and I spent a lot of time going through and figuring this all out and trying to come up with some sort of a system that works best to separate out the teams that are doing really well and buoyed by loser points. And really, while they do make somewhat of a difference, I think of teams like Florida and Toronto and teams that have 10 or more, it does seem like you've lost 10 games in overtime, so you get 5 extra wins. But honestly, when I look at it on paper and I go through all of it and I figure it out, it really doesn't make that much difference. It hurts the Islanders. It hurts the Rangers. The Rangers aren't losing in overtime. The Islanders aren't losing in overtime enough. If those two teams, if New York lost more in overtime for both the Rangers and the Islanders, they're likely both, playoff bound, and in the Rangers' case, not just playoff bound, but, gunning for the President's Trophy. What's going on over here? See, I had left it on there because they just had the Sportsnet logo, and I thought, well, that looks kind of cool in the background. And they've actually got the Canucks are in the box already. Oh. Oh, good. Oh, you might as well get this over with. Who'd they put in goal? Is that Markstrom? Is that Markstrom? Looks like Markstrom. I think it's Markstrom. There's a lot of sirens out there. Can you guys hear that? Huh. They're coming to take me away. Hey, hey. All right. Anyway, so that's. I know I've talked about this with you guys before, like loser point, loser point. Ah, reality, it's not making as big a difference as I thought it would. I thought, I'm gonna come up with a system. Do the 3-2-1. Nah. 3-2-0. Take those loser points away and see who's boss. Yeah. It knocks Florida down. It knocks Philly down, I guess. It buoys Winnipeg a bit. It makes the Islanders' chances of making the playoffs a lot better. But in general, it doesn't really make that big a difference. So there you go, guys. I did it. I sat down. I figured it out. I did some quick math. I know it's not going to add up because there's been a bunch of games played since I figured this out. And I was using different sites to figure out this stuff. So that's what I did. And here's my work. I will show my work. I figured it all out, and that's where we're at. So let me know what you guys think. Again, I'm a proponent for just saying, to heck with the loser point. I want to get rid of it, but it's not making a difference in the standings. A 3-2-1 system, the one thing that does is it means that any points records a team has, that 132 points in a season, I think is what the Montreal Canadiens have, that's the record, that's gone. The first season, somebody's knocking that out of the park. So you're going to have an asterisk next to all points. You're going to have to separate all records from the year you bring in a 3-2-1 system from every system that existed before. Because it used to just be a 2-1-0 system, and now it's a 3-2-1-0 system. And it just knocks everything haywire. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And I'm going to catch some more moments of this Canuck game here and digest some of the stuff that happened while I was out today. And thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Just the other option to this is just to go just straight wins and losses. Forget overtime losses, forget shootout losses. It's just a win and a loss, like baseball and basketball. And just go that way. I think teams would play a lot harder in that last 5 minutes of regulation, knowing overtime gets them nothing. Knowing the shootout gets them nothing. I think they'd want to take it in their own hands to win or lose that game. And I think you'd see a lot more exciting hockey in the last 5 minutes of regulation than we get right now. All right, that's it for now. I will be back with more hockey-related items. And did they score yet? No. It looks like it's Miller in net. Well, I guess the Canucks really want to win if it's Miller. Yeah, it's Miller. Yeah, they really want to win tonight. He's definitely the better of the two goalies. It's one of those things I find weird is I always hear about how Canucks goaltending is basically non-Canuck fans usually are the ones slagging Canucks goaltending. Their goaltending's been fine. Markstrom's been iffy, but Miller's been very good, and he saved their asses on a lot of occasions. So when he's gone, they will fall into that 30th spot overall. I think they would be down with Colorado if it wasn't for the player Ryan Miller this year. So that's just my own 2 cents as well as at the end. Just let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you all again soon.